Now, tube lights are super popular, and I'm sure you've seen some in the backgrounds of your favorite reviewers' YouTube videos. So when Falcon Eyes asked if I'd be interested in reviewing their new IRISA 1 tube light, well, I had to say yes. Just so we're clear, yes, Falcon Eyes did send me this light for free, but they did not pay me for this review, and they are not reviewing this video before I post it, so all the opinions in this video are my own. Also, technically, they call this a stick light, but it's exactly the same thing. Now that that's out of the way, let's talk about build quality. The Falcon Eyes IRISA 1 comes in at approximately 13.5 feet long and weighs about 1¼ pounds. It's primarily made out of a hard clear plastic that feels strong enough to survive some abuse. There are 1/4-20 threads on either end for mounting, plus some rather heavy duty magnets on the back for sticking this light on a fridge or, anything else. It does actually have a built-in 3200 milliamp battery, which they say will power the light at full brightness for about 2 hours, and in my testing, this seems about accurate. Once you do deplete the battery, however, you can easily charge it through the USB-C port at the top, which should be a standard on all electronics from now on. You might have also noticed that there are DMX in and out ports at the top as well, so you can daisy chain a bunch of these lights together and control them all from a switchboard. Now, as far as output is concerned, this is a 13 watt light, rated about 217 lux at 3 meters away, or about 3 feet when set to 5600 Kelvin. If this sounds low, keep in mind that the light is pre-frosted for permanent soft light. Plus, since this thing is bicolor and RGB, not all of the LEDs are ever fully utilized, and the different sets of LEDs need a mix to produce various colors and color temperatures. But in terms of accuracy, Falcon Eyes says this light is rated at 96 plus CRI, which unfortunately I can't verify, but I do believe since Falcon Eyes has a good history of producing color accurate lights, and pretty much all light manufacturers have figured out how to make color accurate lights at this point. And before I forget, the Falcon Eyes IRISA 1 comes in about $150. When it comes to controlling the light, there are a number of physical buttons on the side for switching between your various settings and of course powering the light itself, along with a nice little screen to view your settings. But this is one area where they could definitely improve. While all the buttons do work, they are also extremely loud and clicky and feel rather cheap. But luckily, beyond powering the IRISA 1, you could pretty much ignore these buttons and just use the free app to control all the settings. Though the app is where a number of other issues arise. Just to go over the design quickly, I personally think the app layout is fine. It's simple and straightforward enough to where I don't think anyone will struggle to find what they're looking for. And within the app, you can control the HSI or hue, saturation, intensity, or manually set your RGB values. This light even has pre-programmed Lee and Roscoe filters, so if you're familiar with a particular filter, you can easily just select it and display it to match. Though not all filters are available, with 20 pre-programmed filters for each, but I still think that's a fantastic addition that I was not expecting. Beyond that, you have your standard color temperature controls that range from 2500 Kelvin to a ridiculous 9999 Kelvin, with 6 preset Kelvin stops to choose from. You can even adjust the tint of each temperature to help with matching lights already within a room or lights from other brands. Though this is where one of the issues with the app arise. When setting color temp within the app, it always defaults to adding the most magenta possible instead of starting at a neutral value. And this may be confusing because the value at the top says 0, but the slider is set to the far left by default. So the light actually listens to the slider regardless of what the number value at the top states. Now this is easily corrected, and you just need to adjust the slider in the middle, and then the value at the top will update correctly. But if you weren't aware of this issue, you just think your light is displaying the correct tint and temperature when it's actually not, and this would cause you issues with matching your lighting and also working with colors in post. There's also another weird issue where occasionally when you're switching from RGB to a standard color temp through the app, the light will once again default to a magenta filled color and will only update to its proper value when again you either adjust the slider in the middle or increase the intensity of the light. Now before I continue, I just want to say that these issues seem to only exist when you're using the app to control the light. When using the physical controls on the light itself, these issues don't seem to exist at all. And again, you can control all these settings that the app includes, except the photo color matching, which I'll go over later, directly on the light itself. So you can also just ignore the app for the most part if you want to. But let's continue. Now this light also includes 20 pre-programmed lighting effects, such as lightning, candle, TV, police siren, flash, and so on. And for each effect, you can control the speed and intensity. And there is actually one more app exclusive feature. You can sync the light to music. I see this more as a gimmick and not something super useful, since you have no control over what the light is actually displaying. Now, if you're a fan of Acura lights, you've probably seen that their RGB models include a feature through their app that lets them display whatever color you select through your phone camera. Well, Falcon is offering the same thing here, though it's not always accurate. Sometimes it nails the colors I've selected, and it's awesome when it works, but often it's just all over the place. It's a neat feature to have, and even allows you to select colors from photos you might have taken, but it's just not the most accurate thing out there. So I'm happy to have it included, but I wouldn't say this is a selling feature for this guy. When it comes to accessories, the IRISA one includes a thick USB-A to USB-C cable for charging, and an extremely high quality hard shell carrying case. I'm a huge fan of nice cases, so Falcon definitely gets an A+ from me on this one. But overall, with all the issues stemming from the app, would I recommend the Falcon IRISA 1? Honestly, I don't know. If you're on the market for an RGB light and want something compact and fairly easy to use, this guy is definitely a decent buy. Personally, I love the colors and light quality that comes out of this thing, and have just been enjoying using it despite all the issues the app has been giving me. I've also been surprised by how useful it's actually been for me. Yes, of course, this will be a great light for filming music videos or sci-fi style content, but it's also great for just using as a hair light like I'm doing right now. Because of its elongated tube style design, I actually find it more useful than traditional panel style lights. So at $150, I'd say it's at least worth a try to see if you like it. And for me personally, I'm actually a bigger fan of the IRISA 1 than I thought I would be. But that was my review. I hope you liked it. I hope you found it useful. And if you know of any other RGB video lights that I should check out, please leave a comment down below and let me know about them. And if you really liked the video, please consider subscribing. It really means a lot to me. I really appreciate it. And if you made it this far in the video, leave me 3 rainbow emojis down below. But as always, my name is Joshua Joe Munoz. Stay sexy, and I'll see you sometime.